takes a village, and our support system, particularly our partners. So how do you think we can get our men more involved and educated about women's reproductive health? And I would add to that too about perinatal distress and how to recognise signs of it, how to support a partner who may be experiencing it. And I suppose how to recognise it in themselves as well, because it is an issue that touches on men and non-birthing parents too. So I'm interested in reflections from the panel on this question of how to involve the men in our families more in this issue.
I'm just thinking about the research that we did when we talked to fathers. And interestingly, when we spoke to the mothers about the fathers, some of the mothers actually talked about picking up symptoms in the fathers and in their partners. And so I think firstly, too, we have to recognize that when we're talking about perinatal mental health, that it is also amongst the dads of, who are also parenting. And I think, that was highlighted simply because while the dads were certainly talking about how they want to do more, and they want to talk about it more with their peers, with other dads, there was a strong sense that perhaps we're focusing a lot on the mental health of mothers and not enough on the mental health of fathers. So that's something I just want to say up front. But I do think that there's certainly a movement now towards dads firstly just being able to express themselves a lot more in this area of pregnancy and parenting. And I'll talk about, the specific context here, in that it's often in the domain of mothers only, grandmothers, aunties, older sisters, that sort of thing. And dads usually were the ones who ran off and did the cooking and then came back. And so I think, over time we've learned, particularly, this is something that we love and we want to embrace more of, is dads having a much more active role in the role of parenting. But I think a lot of that has to do with increasing the connections that our dads have to support, increasing the connections that they have with other dads, and certainly increasing the connections in the way they communicate with each other in caring for a baby. Again, I want to give the others a chance, but those are just my initial thoughts.
Thank you. I think I mentioned that in our research, we also have one of the recommendations. We want to create that father program and to kind of normalize, what other things you do self-care and also support the mom and baby at the time as well. So certainly, I think, culturally and linguistic appropriate public health messaging and promote that. How can they, be aware what's going on with the young mom and the pressure on the family at the same time and celebrate the new baby, but how do they look after the young one, and parenting together is very key. We haven't got a lot of material right now, so we need those things to be developed.
Yeah, and I would really just add that, there's some policy solutions here as well, potentially around the, extension of paid parental leave and the, providing families with the ability for both parents, and whether that's a mother and a father or, whatever formation is able to, to create opportunity for both parents to be more actively involved in those early years. And again, I think we're really we're playing a bit of catch up there. And again, we're applying such Western kind of models to our thinking. And I just come back to the opportunity that exists to look into, Te Ao Māori or, Te Ao Pasifika or, other cultures, to see, you don't have to look far to see, that raising children was a responsibility of a whole community, and and yet our policy settings don't necessarily support that.